And even into Lewis County, there's a lot of organic farms, and there's a lot of people that are growing food, marketing it directly, making a living doing it. It's impressive, and it's a few years ahead of a lot of other places in Washington State and the nation at large.
My husband and I found this property about 6 years ago, and it was kind of our dream property. Our kids were young. We wanted to have an organic farm. It was always our dream to have an organic farm and grow produce and have CSAs. Just shortly after we bought the property, my husband was diagnosed with cancer and died shortly thereafter. And of course it seemed like a tragic, and it is a tragic thing that happened. But over time, what's happened is just a really beautiful process with the community coming together and supporting our family. For the year that my husband was dying, there were literally hundreds of people that came to help out on the farm, keeping it going, keeping the grass cut, taking care of him, taking care of the boys. And then after he died, that just continued, and it reached out further into the community. And people stepped forward to start a garden, till it up, plant seeds. We have an orchard of about 16 different fruit trees. Those are each planted by a different family in memory of Mark. It's 16 acres in size. And we've got about 5-acre area right here that's dedicated to the garden area and the growing produce. Wanting to have a CSA and produce good quality organic food for the local community was really important to me, and I wasn't ready to let go of that dream. And about that time I ran into Barry Cannon from the Gleaners Coalition, and he had access to a volunteer labor group that could glean the produce and take it to the food bank.
I was working with the Gleaners then as well. We built the first hoop house out there and had the first few student work parties go out there.
And then on that day is when we built the greenhouse, which was a wonderful project, so that now the food bank can have greens in the wintertime. Because up until now, the food bank was just getting a lot of produce from the local farms in the spring, summer, and fall, but nothing in the winter. And I think the name, it's grown from just the fact that there's hawks here that circle the property to just community. People started coming out here to help take care of us, but by having people here supporting us, they were able to leave feeling good about themselves and what they're doing and growing food, and then the food goes out to an even broader community.
Circle Hawk Farm has become a real prime example, a model of what community-based learning can really do.
There's many other different volunteer groups that come out. G.R.u.B is another group that comes out, the Garden Raised Urban Bounty. We have elementary schools and middle schools that come out, kids come out and work and go home with whatever they harvest. We feed ourselves first with the food that's grown and the workers, and then everything else goes to the food bank. So it just feels like a wonderful circle that's created.
was started as actually a merger of two nonprofit organizations that were started by Evergreen graduates.
And we are a non-profit organization based on the West Side Residential Olympia. And we have a small 2-acre all-organic farm. You grow our veggies and then we take them down to the food bank in the winter and the fall. And then in the summer, a lot of our harvest goes to our market stand where we sell so we can get money to fund our program. And then the youth that work there during the summer get to take a lot of the vegetables home too for free.
In 1995, I was graduating from the Evergreen State College. I was also in the ecological agriculture program and was so inspired by being in that program, in particular a faculty member, Pat Labine, who talked about community gardens and the connection between social change and community gardens. That I wanted to start a project like this here in Olympia, where I'm from. This is my hometown. So I started working there, and I started working in their backyard. Initially, all we were doing, we were a community garden, and we grew food for the Bread and Roses meals program downtown when they had one. We grew food for the food bank and the Olympia Senior Center. And after a year of just doing that full-time volunteer, just doing it, I needed to get a job. And I randomly got a job with the YMCA daycare program, because I always wanted to work with kids. And my supervisor says, I want to do something different. I was like, well, let's take our kids out to the farm, man. So we took like 65 kindergartner through 5th graders in a big yellow bus, came up to the farm, kids jumped out, and it was right then that a light bulb hit in my head, where I was watching these young people so excited, pulling carrots out of the ground. This is where carrots come from? Oh my gosh! That's a bell pepper, and like picking food, eating food, so excited about vegetables, so excited about getting dirty. That light bulb hit and I was like, oh, this is what I want to do. I want to farm, I want to farm for the community, and I want to do it with kids. And thus, that kind of started our program at that point, working with young people. And in 2001, our farm and youth programs merged with the Kitchen Garden Project to become G.R.u.B.